All right, we're live. And let me
Ooh.
check. All right, we're live. Let me check. Okay. So, just trying to get this sorted so I can see. All right. So, anybody that's out there watching, say a comment, say something where we know you're here. So, this is Syndi-Comics. We're about 2 weeks late. Last week we didn't make it. We all had things, conflicts, so we all tried to do this once a week. Kind of a haul slash comic book consortium of topics, that we go through every week. Somebody actually brought up a really good topic today in the Syndi-Comics, and it was about the legacy numbering. And it was actually a really good question because a lot of people are confused by what's going on. So all of us that have been reading Marvel for years have been following characters for 20, 30 years. A lot of them have had different issues, that came out, miniseries and stuff. And I got to give props to Marvel on this one, to go back to the drawing board, look at all the issues that these characters have had, and then start it again and say, all right, as of this date, this issue, you are now this number, and whatever else happened. Venom 150 was really the start of all of it. It really was, because Venom number 6 came out, which of course was Eddie Brock coming back as Venom. And then 150 started, and it's just been like that clockwork on that one. The other cool one that was really, I like how they did it, was Thor, the Mighty Thor, because they started it out with issue 700, the death of Mighty Thor.
And then they also did all new Guardians of the Galaxy 2. They went to 150 on that on the last issue as well.
Yeah, which is kind of sad because that's the last issue of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
They give them a legacy number, and now they're gone. Which is going to be interesting because I wanted to see how this whole Infinity Countdown Prime thing works out with the Infinity Stones. They've had these little Wolverine teasers in certain comics. I got the Captain America before and looked at it. I'm like, I'm not spending $4 on 2 pages.
Right.
After the Secret Empire, I was like, okay, I'm done reading Captain America. But I was like, okay, nope. I'll just read on Comic Book News or CBR. Somebody will put the images out there.
Hey, Myron.
Hi, Myron. Welcome in, brother. So I'm going to actually go get that Youngblood trade paperback today, and they don't have it in my LCS. And he's like, yeah, I'll get back to you on that one. But yeah, because that's part of DC and Wildstorm. The Wildstorm's the sub-print under DC now. So I was like, that's the one I want. So get it for me. And it was kind of funny because he was buy 2 trade paperbacks, get one free today. And I went looking through it. I'm like, nope. Okay, nothing today. Now, if you had omnibuses, that would have been 2 different things. I'll buy a stack of those, especially when they had the sales. I mean, it's like I got the Star Wars omnibuses for $20 each when we had a sale, and I smashed every one of them up.
That's not bad at all.
No, especially when they retail for $125.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was saying last night, I just can't get into it. Like the omnibuses, I have a couple of them, but man, they're so big.
Yeah, I actually got one. There's a comic book store who do half off on Christmas Day a couple years ago, and I grabbed the Witchblade one for half off. So,
nice.
Yeah.
See, I like those. I got the Walking Dead ones, like the Walking Dead compendiums, 1, 2, and 3, because I ended up getting those for like $25 or $30 on Amazon when they were on sale. I'm waiting on Volume 4 to come out.
Yeah, see, I did the Invincible because they were only like $35 for the volumes 1 and 2, and it got, I mean, get you, I think 1 through, I want to say like 120.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
it's nuts.
Really, to catch up on a huge series like that, I couldn't beat the price.
Yeah, that's before Mark Waid went down the rabbit hole, though. Because I looked at that New Avengers 675 today, the No Surrender book.
Yeah.
That was garbage. It's like, what did Mark Waid do after, Marvels and everything else? But yeah, there's been a lot going on with Marvel and Legacy. But I tell you, the one book that was kind of a sleeper for last week was Batman: The Signal.
Yep.
I read that one and I was kind of blown away by it. And it's kind of sucks. It's only 3 issues.
Yep.
I
think they'll do. I don't think it'll be Scott Snyder writing it, but I think there'll be a spinoff for The Signal. I don't think that book's only going to be 3 issues, to be honest, in my opinion.
I hope not. I'd buy every one of them because I like Duke Edward too as well. I like that. He's got an actual superpower, which is one of the first people in the Batman family to actually have a real superpower.
Right. I mean, really, I guess the closest one right now would be Clayface.
Yeah. Which that was always weird too, like how Clayface turned into a good guy.
I know. They just kind of, and he's on the Bat team right now. And they're working with him.
Oh, yeah. Forgot that.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that really drew me to James Tynion's, like, when they did Rebirth and the whole Detective Comics, was the fact that Clayface, like, it was just kind of like, all of a sudden you saw these promo images with, like, the whole Bat family, and then there's Clayface, like, in the background. And I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't work.
Hey, Bragg718 said he picked up Stabby Bunny finally today. I have no idea what that book is.
What is it?
It says Stabby Bunny.
Huh.
Don't know. I don't like those. But the one that was kind of, I was reading it last week was Redneck, the newest Redneck that came out. It seems like they're starting to get towards an indie now.
Yeah, I think it's be curious to see how long, with as much as Donnie's doing right now, I wonder, especially like with how much he's doing with Marvel, how that's going to impact his Image books. And unfortunately, I think it's going to impact him a lot. I mean, like, just with how much he's doing right now. I mean, I know God Country was only like a 7-issue series, so that's done. What was it? The Ghost Fleet's done. And then what else did he have out? Redneck. And then was that all the independent books he had?
He was helping out with Baby Teeth as well.
That's right. Yeah, Baby Teeth, and then he also had a little bit to do with Curse Words, right?
Yeah, Curse Words. Him and Charles Soule.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be curious to see now that he's doing Doctor Strange and a bunch of other stuff from Marvel. And he's doing Thanos as well, correct?
He's doing Thanos, yeah.
Yeah. So
the Doctor Strange has been freaking awesome, though.
That's what I've heard, and I will actually probably pick up the trades as soon as those come out, just because he's writing.
Yeah, because he's about to get real busy with Damnation coming up too.
Right.
Because that's all Doctor Strange and Donny Cates. So he's gonna have to let something go. I think that's the sad part. I bet like Rob Kirkman, who does Walking Dead, that's all he does. He does that one book, and that's it. Because he does that in the show and whatnot. So he can kind of focus that. But Donnie's been doing everything for like 5 years like this.
Well, he's
been going back and forth.
Kirkman still does Outcast and Invincible, though.
Yeah, but it's still not the same Invincible that I read, you know.
And Invincible's done. I mean, Invincible, I think, has like two issues left. It's not very many.
Yeah.
For the wave of it, like the series.
Yeah, they're finally ending it.
Wow. Huh? So I'm starting buying some trades.
Well, that's why, I mean, he had it, you know, you got the compendiums. That's probably the route I go to read it. Because the last issue I read was issue 80 something, and we're on like what 200 or something now.
No, I think they're. Oh shoot, where was it up to now? I want to say it's just over 150. It's
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's like something like 23 volumes if you buy just the standard trades.
Yeah, that's why I did the compendium run for Walking Dead, because they were doing the same thing. They were like 3 issues for a trade, and then like 8 issues for the big hardcover version. I was like, compendium, 48 issues. That's an easy decision.
Yep. Yeah, and it's only like usually like $35 or something. Like they're not expensive at all.
No, well, and it has to get. That's the reason I like Walking Dead too, because it's black and white.
Yeah.
I saw a new compendium today for Spawn, and it was in completely black and white.
Really?
It was trippy. And I think it went like $70 or something like that for it. But it was like issues 1 through 50, which is very rare for Spawn, because Spawn, there were such issues with Angela, between McFarlane and the other guy.
I forget. Yeah, when Marvel won that over.
Neil Gaiman. That's who it was. Yeah, when Gaiman said Angela's mine, McFarlane said, well, she's half mine, and the court said, no, it's both yours, and then they settled out of court, and now Angela is Thor's sister in Marvel.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually have all the Spawn. I have the hardcover, like oversized deluxe volumes, but I don't have any of the compendiums for Spawn.
Yeah, see, I want to find the Hellspawn hardcover. I had the whole series in it, issues 1 through 16, because that one's just so hard and expensive to find now.
Right.
Because I had the original series, I had all the individual issues, and then I had to sell a bunch, and that was one of them that got sold. And now it's like pulling teeth trying to find it. All right, so Brian, BJ, what'd you find this week in books?
For my subscriptions, got the X-Men Blue 19 right there. X-Men Annual Gold #1, bringing back 30th anniversary of Excalibur. Got that first cover of that. And then I got the old Avengers 675, the one we were just talking about. Lenticular. Phoenix Resurrection #3. And then gotta support my buddy, old Youngblood #8. Art by Jim Patel.
Nice.
Right there. Yeah. And then for the Ollie's pickups, heavy. These range from like $2.99 to $4.99. I got the Batman: The Dark Knight Golden Dawn. There's that David Finch there.
David Finch, that's a good one. I remember that series.
That's
I haven't read it yet. Kind of did my little investigating on some more writers and artists I need to start venturing out of. And one of them came up. This one was like a little couple of stories from Brian K. Vaughan when he first came out. There's a few, like 3-issue miniseries, 2-issue miniseries, one with Wonder Woman in there too, and then like a little 10-page one-shot. This one kind of was interesting. It says The Spirit, but it's by Darwin Cook with Jay Bone and Dave Stewart. Oh, we got somebody. So, I mean, Darwin Cook, he just recently passed last month or so. A couple of my buddies were talking about this on the Syndi-Comics, so I decided to grab it as well. Starman Omnibus. So they're a big fan of that.
I love that book.
Yeah, they've been talking about it. The Batman Unwrapped. Look, I guess it's just all the sketches.
Oh, that's cool.
R.I.P. Yeah, this was $35 book. They're selling for $5. I was like, all right.
So is that not the actual R.I.P. storyline then, or is it just art from that?
No, it's just the storyline. It's just
Okay.
Just
It's just black and white. That's really cool.
Yeah, they have some ink in it over by the
Okay.
by some of that. They've got a couple other ones. Andy Kubert's one. I've got to look at that, and then I think another one from Neil Adams, and Ultimate Collection. First Invincible
Nice.
to me. Yeah, number 4. So got to start somewhere.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we got a comments too from Rag718. He said it comes from Scout Comics. It's a new number 1.
I've never heard of Scout Comics.
I haven't either. I was talking to the guys from Unknown Comics yesterday. Variants in just for their shop, and I might go down that rabbit hole and get some of theirs. Because they had some really cool ones from like Neil Adams coming up. And I'm a huge Neil Adams fan. So.
Yeah, I'm debating. I saw he just posted that he's going to be at C2E2, and I just got my tickets for C2E2, and I'm debating whether or not I'm going to finally bite the bullet and commission him for an original piece.
Got to do a Green Lantern or a Batman then.
Well, for me, it's Batman. He is like. Well, I mean, outside of David Finch and Jason Fabok and Capullo, he is in my mind. Anytime I think of Batman art, I always go to Adams. That's just where my mind always goes, because that's what I grew up on, was Neil Adams Batman. So yeah, no, it'll 100% be a Batman piece.
Well, if you do it, have him do one with like the Joker, because he doesn't do the Joker a lot. He'll draw Batman a lot, but he won't draw the Joker, because he said sometimes it's just too hard for him to draw it now compared to the old days. And I love that. Everybody loves the cover he did. With the Joker, like issue 200.
Playing card, yeah.
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 But yeah, like I said, he's one of my favorite artists of all time and writers. I mean, just because of what he did between him and Denny O'Neil and their runs he did in the 70s and 80s. Everybody forgets that he did X-Men too in the 60s. So it's always fun to see him. And he's really cheap too. I mean, like literally, I think I spent $35 for him to do a sketch.
So Adams?
Yeah, Neil Adams.
Oh, he quoted me. They quoted me the cheapest he'll do, and it's just a side profile is $300.
Yeah, because it's C2E2. That's right.
They basically, what I'm looking at, he's wanting between 700 and 1,000.
And that's what happens at these big ones. I mean, SECC is a good example of that too, and NYCC. But we had them at Kamikaze, a couple of years back.
Right.
And it's $20 entry fee, and that's it for Comic Cons. And you can buy it the day up, just like the old Comic Cons, And Neil's just sitting there, just sitting there by himself, just hanging out. And he's like, "Hey, you want to draw?" Sure. And and I go up and like, "Holy crap, that's Neil Adams," And he was like, "I'm like, how much for?" I don't care how much it costs, but he's like $35. I'm like, sure. And he did, Green Lantern, about this big on a sketch about a cover size,
right.
And it was awesome because on the flip side of that book, I had Mark Newtell that did the other sketch on it. Because it was zero. Remember the old 0 Hour blank cover one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had Mark Newtell do one side and Neil Adams do the other side.
That's awesome.
And it's cool because Mark Newtell's dead now.
Right.
And getting to meet Neil was an awesome experience. Because he was the guy who got me into Green Lantern.
Right.
But I'd read, Gil Kane's and Carmine and Infantino stuff, and it just wasn't the same. But once Neil came in and Danny O'Neil came in, I was just like, it blew it out of the water. I was sold. I was picking up everything from Dead Man to, Man at War, you name it, what he wrote, I was trying to pick up.
Right.
Cool.
But yeah, it's definitely getting interesting, especially now. I gotta say that I think we're kind of in a lull right now, though, in comics. There's nothing really big going on. I mean, we got the Infinity thing, Prime thing going on. We got a little bit with the, the Doomsday Clock, in DC and Metals, but there's nothing huge going on, which is kind of a relief for a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
From the event every other week.
Yeah. I mean,
or I should say line-wide event.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of like the Avengers, that 675 started out No Surrender. That's all within Avengers, which is kind of nice.
Right.
Same way with Phoenix Resurrection. It's got one tie-in issue with Jean Grey being the final issue. All of it's just Phoenix Resurrection.
Right.
The Infinity thing is the only thing that's kind of like that. Where it's like, okay, you got to pick up Guardians to understand where Warlock's coming from. Then you got to pick up the Infinity books. But if you want to see where Wolverine's at, you got to read all those little 2-page or 3-pager things out of other books. But it's like other than that, that's kind of nice.
Yep.
Same way with Metals. Metals has been self-contained with most of it. They've had the tie-ins from like Justice League 1 or 2 issues and stuff like that. But it's been great. So I can't wait to get that one when it comes out like a hardcover. Because they're going to do a massive hardcover for Metals when it gets done.
Oh, yeah, there's no way they won't.
I tell you what really irritates me, though, is the omnibuses DC is doing now, though. You guys remember maybe 5 or 6 years ago when they were doing the Batman and Green Lantern omnibuses? They came out and they were about this thick, and it was Silver Age. And now they're reissuing some of those. And it's like, okay, why are you reissuing it versus continuing it? It's the whole Marvel Masterworks versus Omnibus, thing. It's like, all of us have collected a lot of those books for 10 or 15 years, and it's like, okay, now I have to go buy the other omnibuses that I don't really need just to get caught with like volume 3 and volume 4.
Yep.
And I was just like, this is crap. DC trying to make me again.
SoCal Collector, hola.
What is up, Cooley? Welcome in, brother. All right, Kyle, what did you get this week?
So mine is all trades. As I was kind of telling you guys on the page, I'm slowly transitioning over to all trades. So I'll start off with Marvel. First thing I picked up was the Charles Soule Daredevil current run, just volume 1 of this. I have all the single issues, but I'm slowly building my trade collection. I kind of rebought the entire Superior Spider-Man. So this is
Doc Ock takes over Spider-Man's brain.
So I picked up the entire run, all in trade volume. This is honestly, I know a lot of people hate it. This is one of my favorite Spider-Man stories, probably of all time. Honestly, it was just so kind of different and out there, but I wanted to have the trade so I could pre-read them. I started rereading them last night, and it's just as good as what I remember it being. Also picked up, to kind of continue that, I picked up the first 3 volumes of Dan Slott's Amazing Spider-Man run. So this is where, spoilers, Peter Parker gets his body back after Superior Spider-Man. So picked up those 3 volumes, and then going over to DC, I picked up all 4 volumes currently of the Tom King Batman run. So all the way up to the War of Jokes and Riddles. And then I also picked up volume 4 of Detective.
Oh, yeah.
So that's all my superhero stuff. And then as far as independents, I bought a copy of Ether from Dark Horse Comics.
Okay.
Matt Kent. This is a really, really cool fantasy murder mystery book. I really liked it a lot. Actually, a friend of mine let me borrow it. And then I liked it so much I went out and bought a copy myself. So that was really good. I got volume 2 of Black Hammer, which I posted on the page. This is a phenomenal book. It's honestly becoming, I think, one of my favorite comics out there right now. That was really good. And then from Black Mask, I also picked up a book called The Dregs. I didn't know a whole lot about this, and this was honestly one of the most disturbing books I've ever read in my life. It's kind of out there. It's all about grinding up homeless people and feeding them to like hoity-toity hipster bars and restaurants. So it's kind of weird. And then I also picked up Saga Volume 8.
Sorry.
So that was my pickups for this week.
Cool.
All right, so Cal's asking, what's the next most anticipated series coming? For Marvel, I'm going to say it's Infinity Prime. with the Infinity Stones coming back and everything,
Mhm.
or for me it's Phoenix Resurrection,
Yeah.
because I'm a huge X-Men fan. I could care two craps about Avengers. I'm tired of reading about Avengers. I read 6,000 Avengers books during Secret Empire, but that's me. Um, the biggest one in DC right now is still the Doomsday Clock. Really, I mean they're harping on that one. Metals is about done, so that's gonna be finished up in an issue or two.
Yeah.
Image, I mean, Image really hasn't had a whole lot really lately.
The biggest thing for me looking at Image is Jeff Lemire's new series, Gideon Falls. That one looks really good, but I'm a huge Jeff Lemire fan, so so that one's always going to be my most anticipated anytime he writes something new. But I think that starts in March.
Yeah, top of my head, just a couple Marvel ones. X-Men Red. See where that's going to go with Jean Grey going to lead that, and I'm just interested in seeing how this Adam Warlock is, because it's been over, 20 years for me since I've read and learned about Adam Warlock too. So he's coming back again too. More of kind of a younger guy looking now too.
Yeah, did you read Guardians 150 already?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, the concept of what's happened to Adam Warlock being stuck in a soul gem for this long.
Mm-hmm.
And he's supposed to be getting out, and the way he gets out is through another cocoon.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was like, wait, what? And then the other character that's still in the soul gem, or
Yeah, Gamora being stuck. That's funny. But it was even better though. It was showing Kang at the end of the book. Kang the Conqueror is the one who's got Warlock.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen him in comics in probably 10 or 15 years.
Kang? He was in Uncanny Inhumans. I guess it was last year.
Well, I mean, but making an impact, an actual impact to the universe.
Yeah.
Because the last time I remember reading him was like when him and Doom were fighting. Was the last one I remember reading. And it didn't go well for Kang. Yeah, definitely Infinity Prime. It's going to be interesting. I hope it doesn't just go crazy. I hope that they keep it kind of together and that it doesn't just blow off the whole universe all over again. Because they just did Legacy, so I hope this isn't like, okay, we're going to reset again, after Infinity Gems. It's like, all right, just let the stories go, let it go.
Yeah.
So Cal asks, is Image still around? Yeah, Image is still around. They're a huge independent scene again now. I mean, you still have some of the big books like Savage Dragon and Spawn and some of them, but after Wildstorm got bought out by DC, they took a lot of characters back to DC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Image honestly doesn't really deal with superheroes a whole lot anymore. I mean, they have some big books like Invincible, Spawn still going, Savage Dragon, but I mean, most of their stuff is all kind of anymore. It seems a lot more like kind of crime. I mean, it's all over the place, but it's not. It focuses mainly away from superhero type stories, which is why I kind of like it so much now.
Well, and I like some of the storylines they have, because I mean, you're not going to get like Redneck, for example. You couldn't do Redneck in Marvel or DC. There's no way possible. It's funny, like the whole, the comics authority code, that's kind of been thrown out the window with Image. They've been doing that for 30 years, that they don't really care. The book's going to sell, it's going to sell. Baby teeth.
I mean, you take like Saga. I mean, look at how huge that book is, but look at the content that's also in that book. Saga.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I can remember some parts of that when I open to the page. I'm like, oh god.
I made the mistake of reading that on my break in my office one time, and I was sitting there just flipping through, and all of a sudden, like, sure enough, like it's just one of the scenes in that book, and then of course there's like 2 or 3 people just like kind of sitting behind me, like kind of, what exactly is that?
Yeah, what are you looking at?
It's a comic.
Oh gosh.
All right, so we got Eighth of Beast and Goju fan, Pokemon and Goju fan. Eighth of Beast asks, what's a fair price to pay for Wolverine #1 and Wolverine #1 miniseries? Depends on the grade. As you guys know, I'm a grader. So if I'm grading out a #1 at say a 9.4 or 9.8 for the 1988 series, $40. That's what you should pay for #1. If it's the mini series from 1982, about $50. Don't go crazy trying to, and that's raw prices, not not slab prices. Um, it there's plenty of those books around. There's a lot in great condition. We start talking like giant sized X-Men and things like that. That's a little different.
Yeah.
Because it's just what's available. I mean, they made so many copies of those books because Wolverine was selling like hotcakes in the 80s. Even today, I mean, you look at all the books we have for Wolverine, Old Man Logan, All New Wolverine, just what the next? They're all going to keep selling because it's Wolverine, But yeah, Eighth of Beast, don't go crazy paying a lot of money for that one. And I would recommend if a friend of mine, Rick Froge, he runs comicspriceguide.com. He does pretty good with his grading as well and his pricing on there as far as raw value, and it's free. So it's a free value site.
So I use that site quite often.
Yeah, Brick kind of commissioned me to actually work some stuff for him. So there's some things we can't talk about on the stream yet about what we're going to work on. Needless to say, there's probably going to be an overhaul done on some of the stuff. And it's just having availability of people to grade. That's what it comes down to. But yeah, all right, let me show you what I got this week. All right. So first up, Punisher 220. I'm loving this series, guys. Punisher in the War Machine armor, that's just, you can't get no better than that. Ever since that lenticular came out, I've been sold. I haven't read, I've read like some of the, what was that? The Vietnam one he's doing right now. I read one of those issues the other day, like before he becomes the Punisher.
Is that a Clayton Crane cover?
Yeah, let's see. Yep, it is. Right there at the bottom.
It's nice.
Yeah, I love Crane's covers.
Yeah.
Him and Matina and Delato. I mean, Delato's are just way too damn expensive to buy now.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got Venom 160.
Very nice.
Venom Inc. This is part 5 of the series. This is crazy. This has been a really crazy read. This whole Venom Inc. thing. I mean, it's like one of those rides you get on, like like a Ferris wheel, and like one of those roller coaster rides. It's like it just keeps going and going. It's like, okay, what's next? You want to know what's next? It's like, damn, it's gonna take me 2 weeks to get the next issue. This is cool. So, Cable 153, and this has the New Mutants. So I wanted to bring that up too tonight. So New Mutants are coming back. In the Marvel series. They're about to have all these variant covers and all the new issues are supposed to come back out. So I want to see how that's going to turn out.
Just in time for the movie.
I say, yeah, gotta hype up the movie a little bit.
Got to make the money.
Yeah.
We got X-Men Blue #19. I love that cover. I mean, just the old X-Men, and then they're like mirrored down in the below with the new uniforms.
Good old Arthur Adams.
Oh yeah, and then we got X-Men Gold, Annual #1. And I love this is like this is a rendition homage back to Excalibur #1.
Yeah.
And I still got Excalibur #1.
Do you?
Man. Yeah, and just to see because it's Captain Britain with a beard. Well, come on.
Yeah.
Better than that. Let's see. Okay. This one I was really excited to read. I haven't read it yet. Old Man Hawkeye #1.
Oh, okay.
So now, does that take place, I assume, in the Old Man Logan, like the Old Millar, McNevin.
Yep. This is a set right before then, right before he goes blind and everything.
Right. That's what I figured. Just especially like from the artwork and kind of the styling of it, I figured that's probably when it was taking place. I may have to check that one out.
Yeah, I definitely would, because it's probably going to be gone. You know, it's going to be one of those ones that goes out of print, like just like the regular Old Man Logan books.
Right.
They're pricey.
Yeah.
And then I got the variant.
Yes.
And this one is Ron. This is the Ron Lamb variant. I'm saving that one for last. Yep. There's a story behind that one because I screwed up today. Talk about Neil Adams, Dead Man number 3. I mean, this has been awesome.
So he's doing the series with Dead Man?
Yep. Yeah, it's a 6-issue series that Neil's writing for that one.
Okay.
So, and there's 2 versions of number 1. There's an embossed cover version, and then there's a regular cover version as well.
Gotcha. Cool.
Then we got She-Hulk. This is the lenticular. This is that stack of books I got last night. Uncanny Avengers. They are a pain in the ass to track down, I'll tell you that.
Fantastic Four.
All New Wolverine 25. Let's see. I don't know how many more people can do this cover, though. You know, I love the original cover. But it's like, how many people are going to keep changing it?
Yeah.
And Hawkeye. This is, I gotta say, out of all in particulars, this one sucks the most. It's like they put really no effort into it, you know, and it's also because I don't really like Hawkeye, you know. He's one of those like, okay, you're on the Avengers. That's what I got for the Avengers West Coast. This is the Ben Reilly Spider-Man homage with.
Cool.
And then Secret Warriors.
Nick Fury.
Yeah. I like how they use the Nick Fury one. Because you don't see that cover up too often.
Nah.
No, I don't know.
Then American number 8 with the Green Goblin.
Have you been reading America? It's pretty good.
It's okay. It's one of the ones I'll probably buy in a trade. You know,
Yeah.
I've read like issue 1 and 2, and it's like, okay, it's not gonna be on my pull list. It's not one that I have to read. And then this is the Jean Grey lenticular with Astonishing X-Men.
I got that original.
I've got some of the old Astonishing somewhere, some box.
I'm gonna say it there.
And finally got this damn book. This took me forever to find. Venom number 2. You know how hard it is to find these damn books? I was tracking them all down forever. Same way with this one. The Crane connecting variant for Venomverse number 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get those one day.
You better snatch them up fast, man, because they're going. You know.
Yeah.
Because that was the problem I had is my comic shop only gets one of those covers, and I got issue 1 through 4. They never got 5.
Huh.
Yeah.
So this is where Nate screwed up today. So I got this one.
Right. Is that
The manga one. And
kind
then
of reminds me of Incredibles.
it does, yeah. The mine got me the first issue, and then this one. Then they already back ordered the second one that came out.
Yeah.
This is what got me too damn excited today, was this cover. The Art Gem, cover. And I forgot to get the regular version of the comic. Which is the nutsy part. But the other thing too, my buddy George was distracting me. He has it's one of the Phoenix. They were doing the Phoenix covers for like other issues of Marvel last couple of weeks.
Mhm.
It was an Art Gem one as well. I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I really want that one, but I'm not paying that price for it. And then and I was like, all right, and I need to go back to the rack, make sure I get it. It was over. I'm done. Time to go home. But yeah, that's my haul for the week this week.
Very nice.
I got enough to read for a while. I mean, the lenticulars, I probably won't read every lenticular issue because it's just like I just want it for the covers, But some of these ones, they're really good. Like what got me, like Moon Knight. I mean, I got that lenticular Moon Knight and read that one, and I was, all right, I'm good. Punisher, Moon Knight, and Spirits of Vengeance. I mean, those three really pulled me in.
I might have to grab some Midnight trades later.
Yeah, the new one's pretty good. I mean, it's an interesting read. It really is. I mean, if you know the backstory of Mark Spector.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a schizophrenic. That's a good guy and a bad guy and crazy all in one.
So the last arc that I read was I forget who wrote it, but it was like where he was like in the psychiatric ward. And it was kind of like the whole, like, is it all real? Is it all not real? Is it all just in his head? And I thought that was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, I remember when he was out in the early 90s, when you had, like, him and Night Thrasher and all those guys. And then they started talking about, like, yeah, he's got 4 personalities in one person, but he doesn't know who's in charge sometimes. But now, in this series, that just started, he lets him take control.
Right.
And it's just like, that is awesome. He knows exactly what's going on now. Like his time in the ward helped him out learn that. And it's like, okay, what's he gonna do with it? Oh, and spoiler, I have to put this one out there. So the girl, remember the longtime girlfriend he had forever in Moon Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of his split personalities ends up having a baby with her.
Okay.
Huh.
You got to read it. It all makes sense once you read it.
Yeah.
I definitely need to pick up all those trays.
Jack Chucker, what's up, man? Welcome in the house. We got 6 people. That's a record for us.
I think it is.
It's funny, like a lot of these live streams will get like 30, 40, 50 people into them. We get 6 and we're happy.
Yeah.
It's comics, it's not
It's comics. It's not action figures.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm interested to see, like, especially like BJ was talking about X-Men Red, to see how it's going to be with Phoenix in charge. Did you read issue 3 yet, BJ?
Yeah, I read it yesterday.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I gotta read it tonight because I'm kind of interested to see how it goes because like they're making it like it's gonna be this huge thing that happens, with Phoenix.
Yeah. We got 8 now.
We got 8 people. Holy crap! Let's get to 10. Come on. Let's get to 10 people and 5 likes. We're at 5 likes. 800. What's up, man? Yeah, we ain't definitely getting no super chat money in here. That's for sure. There's a lot going on. But I think there'll be some big changes out of the Infinity Prime thing. But I don't think it's going to be catastrophic to the point to where it's going to change like the whole universe all over again. I think it's going to be it's going to happen. There's going to be effects from it, but everything else is going to stay the same.
Now, what do you think about? Because I know in the end of Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Men 2, they kind of said that the Ultimate Universe is still there. Do you think that Marvel's going to kind of go back to the Ultimate kind of tags?
It's going to be hard because that's what Secret Wars is supposed to get rid of.
Right.
Secret Wars is supposed to get rid of all the universes, and there only be one, which is the Earth 616.
Right.
But
I'm curious what they're going to do with Miles, because I mean that was kind of the big thing at the end of Spider-Man 2 was the Ultimate Universe is still there. So I kind of feel that I almost think that they're going to, because if you've been reading like Amazing, Dan Slott's kind of taken away all the like the Tony Stark billionaire qualities, like tech suits and all that, away from Spider-Man. So I almost kind of feel like Slott was kind of setting it up for Peter to go back to the neighborhood Spider-Man instead of this worldwide traveler, and maybe we will see Miles kind of go back to that Ultimate Universe. But I'm curious to see, because like I don't know, like when I heard all that from Brian Michael Bendis, it was kind of like, wait a minute, wasn't that the whole purpose of Secret Wars was to get rid of that Ultimate Universe? You didn't have two different things, but now it kind of seems like Marvel's kind of backtracking, saying, oh, we know you love the Ultimate Universe, you invested a lot of time in collecting the Ultimate Universe, it's still there. So I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to take those characters.
Well, so I was asked, hey, what comic are we talking about? We're talking about Amazing Spider-Man right now, and it's in reference to the Secret Wars line-wide crossover they had about 2 years ago.
Yep.
And the interesting part is that I just got Old Man Hawkeye. Okay, that's from a different universe.
Right.
It's like they said that after Secret Wars, they're not doing any more multiverse stories, and I already got one.
Right.
Same way with if you read Generations, all this Generations comics before Legacy. Those are all different timelines. They might have been within the same Earth, but some of them couldn't be, because they had Miles Morales, and he was in Spider-Man's era. So it's like, but he saw himself in that same era, and he knew himself. So it's like all these universes are combined, so they have, there's got to be some part there. It's just like when Ultimatum came out, in the Ultimate Universe, that was a huge event they had, to get rid of everything bad in the Ultimate Universe. I don't think it's gone. I don't think none of them are actually gone. Let's see. He asked, what's the best comics we're reading right now? My opinion, Phoenix Resurrection, X-Men Gold, X-Men Blue, Metals have been awesome, Doomsday Clock, and then if you can find it, Reborn. I just reread Reborn again last week, and it's just like, I love that series. And it's like, come on, Mark Millar, come on, volume 2. Redneck's kind of dying though, and like I said, I brought it up earlier. It's just, it's starting to fizzle out. You can tell Johnny Cage's getting tired. But yeah, that's my picks right now.
Mine would have to be right now Black Hammer. That's far and away my favorite comic right now. I think Deadly Class would be another one. I like, you guys will kind of notice I'm a little bit more into the independent non-superhero things a little bit more than I am. Don't get me wrong, I love superheroes. I love collecting Marvel and DC, but if I was told I could either only ever read Marvel and DC ever again or Image, I'd take Image in a heartbeat. So Black Hammer would be my number 1. Deadly Class would be my number 2. To kind of throw a spider or a superhero one out there, I like what Scott Snyder did with All-Star Batman. I know we kind of had some discussions about that one. I thought that one was really good. And then, I think those are probably my top 3 right now.
I'm still loving the X-Men Blue and Gold. Saga. Hopefully, issue 50 coming up in a couple months here, so that'd be pretty exciting. And just follow whatever my buddy Chad does. Right now he just got done with Sword Quest miniseries for Dynamite and Ash vs. Army of Darkness. Got a couple other ones coming up he's going to talk about probably next month. And Youngblood.
For that Ash vs. Army of Darkness, are they doing a trade paperback version of that one?
I'm not too sure. As well. I know they're doing a.
I collected all the other ones, so Dynamite.
Yeah.
But back to the comment about Secret Wars and Miles Morales and those things. Do you guys think DC is going to do that? Do you think that we're going to have issues now because of the Dark Multiverse? That we brought into it. I mean, we know we're getting a gang of new series coming out after Metals because of the Dark Multiverse. Do you think we're going to be going back to that? Because we just had Rebirth, which is supposed to get rid of all the same thing too. But do you think there's going to be bigger issues now?
I don't know if there's going to be issues. I think you're going to see a lot of the. I mean, I think Metal is going to introduce a lot of dark characters that are going to come into the main DC universe. But I mean, but even like kind of like the button and all that, like it still kind of played around with the idea that the multiverses are still there. I don't know, like did Rebirth really kind of undo all that? I don't know if like DC is really like, because I mean, like I know like Marvel came out and said like Secret Wars was undo, like that was the specific purpose of Secret Wars, was to undo all the multiverses that they had. Like I mean, maybe I just haven't read enough about the Rebirth, but like reading the books, it didn't seem like DC actually came out and said like, okay, this is what we're doing. They just kind of maybe toyed around with, this might do this. And I think we all a lot of people just speculated. You guys might know more about that than I do, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see DC just kind of completely destroying their multiverse things. That has been such a big part of DC for so long.
Yeah, I know Jeff Johns had talked about a little bit on saying that when he was working on Rebirth, that it was supposed to be a reset, for Flashpoint. Like, hey, Flashpoint New 52, that didn't happen,
Right.
But the problem was they still brought Superman over from the New 52,
right.
And then they killed the current Superman, So it was kind of interesting. I think there's still a lot of ramifications for what Dr. Manhattan did. I don't think we've seen everything that's happened because of that.
Right.
I haven't read any of them yet, so I'm just waiting until some trades are going there.
It's a good read. I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, to see how it changes the whole universe, because we all remember Earth 1, 2, 3, X, 0. I mean, all the different Earths they had in DC, which made it work a lot better than Marvel's did.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was that they never. The only time they actually talked about the Dark Multiverse is when we had Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that was when the Anti-Monitor, the Anti-Universe, it was around. They said that there was multiple universes, multiverses out there, but then the Dark Multiverse is now available because of Batman.
Right. They say what Brian Michael Bendis is going to be working on now. I got an email about that, but I didn't read what it was about yet.
Not yet. I think he was still finishing up his last things in Marvel before he crosses over to TC. I'm actually gonna. I mean, if you write something good, I'll probably read it in DC, because he hasn't written nothing good in Marvel since Marvel Knights. There's been these like couple of books here and there that's been okay, but like the Punisher, the last time he did Punisher, it was really good.
Yeah.
But it's like Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman he's written so much stuff. It's just like, okay, it's another Neil Gaiman book. Is it Preacher? Is it Sandman? What is it?
Right.
I mean, put Neil Gaiman on Batman. Let him try to do Batman and see how it would turn out.
You think people complain about Batman being dark now? You put him on that book.
and that's why we had Elseworlds. Remember back in like the mid '90s, we had Elseworlds for that reason. They gave all these writers and artists the opportunity to do a different book, and it was great. Some of it really sucked too. Because they like A.D. Kubert should not be doing Batman, and those kind of things for a reason, Artists, one thing, writing, two different things. there's very few artists who can be great writers at the same time, and there's, I love Neil because he can do both, but he needs to really stick to a lot of times just being an artist. His writing is just chaotic sometimes. It's just, I mean, literally, like, when I read Batman Odyssey, it's just like foaming at the mouth of words, and I'm like, oh, God, and you have to reread it like 30 times to figure out what he was actually talking about. And it just happens that way.
Well, I mean, anybody that takes Homer's The Odyssey and tries to put it in the Batman universe, I mean, that's going to come out like crazy.
Let's see. I stole most writers from either company. I always end up in the other company eventually, and the storyline stays similar. Yeah, you're pretty much right. I mean, there's most of the writers and artists do go back and forth. Look at Jim Lee, for example. He's a perfect example of that this last year. How many covers did he do for Marvel? With all the carded, variants he did, for them. That whole veil is pretty much gone. That you're either just strict DC or strict Marvel or Image. I mean, look at Charles Soule and Donny Cates. I mean, they write for everybody. I mean, I'm waiting to see the 1 month. You guys still there?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying is like I'm waiting for Donny Cates to have a book in every publisher next month, because I'm expecting to see an IDW or a Dynamite book with Donny Cates or Charles Soule on it now. But yeah, there's a lot of cross pollination between the writers and artists now these days. Inkers not so much. Inkers pretty much stay where they're at, I've noticed.
Yeah, it seems like DC though here recently has been a little bit more aggressive. Like, I mean, obviously, like they wrapped up that Tom King for Batman. But it seems like DC's been a little bit like more aggressive of signing writers to exclusive contracts with some of the bigger names. Because I mean, obviously, like I said, Tom King's probably the biggest one that comes to mind when they pulled him away from Vision to do Batman. I think James Tynion and a couple other guys are all under exclusive DC. I believe they can go and do like something from Image, but they just can't do anything from Marvel.
Yeah.
But yeah, DC's being a little bit more kind of selfish with those type of things now. I think Brian Michael Bendis, I think he's exclusive to DC now, isn't he? Once he's done. Right.
Once he's done with Marvel, he's supposed to be exclusive, but it did say he can go work on Wildstorm if he wants. Because that's a subline of DC.
Right.
Same with Vertigo, Because like Astro City, Kurt Busiek still works on that one. And he pretty much signed an exclusive contract to say, I'll work on Astro City, and that's it. And it still sucks, which is really bad. Because that's some of my favorite series of all time, But the new volume that came out just been utter crap for all 40 or 50 issues of it. Yeah, I loved it, when it was, Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross doing it. It was an amazing story. Just like when you had Alex Ross do Marvels, way back when, That's why I love how Ross is doing all the covers on Amazing Spider-Man right now.
Yep, and they're gorgeous.
They are. Yeah. I've not seen one, but I don't think I've ever seen a bad cover from Alex Ross ever.
I would agree. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jim Lee did some crappy ones, but Ross, no. He has that's the fine look too that he does with his characters. It's like no matter what angle he does them, they're always awesome.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that's all I got tonight. You guys got anything else?
I don't think so.
Not right now. Top of my head.
Oh, and so I think BJ, you were putting a list out there from comics reviews for next week's list. Is there anything that you guys are looking forward to next week?
What's that now?
I think it was you or Kyle, one was putting the weekly pull list on the Syndi-Comics page.
Oh, yeah, I'm putting that on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you guys looking for next week coming out?
I don't even know what's coming out next week yet. Phoenix Resurrection 4?
Yeah, that's about done. X-Men Blue Annual is supposed to be out next week, I think, too.
That'll work.
I was gonna say, I think for me it's gonna be Kill or Be Killed, Volume 3. That's Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker. I love that series.
Brubaker can't do no wrong, man. I don't think I've ever did anything wrong with Brubaker in it.
Pretty much. You get those two together, no matter what it is, it's gonna be gold.
Yeah.
It's like you put Mark Millar and somebody together, you know it's gonna be a good story.
Yep.
Yeah. If it's a slow week and I only get like a couple of them, I'll try to grab a trade for my store. He'll grab people trading trades for cash or store credit. So if it's a $15 trade, he'll sell for $10 and put it on there. So that's always a nice plus there.
Nice.
Start trying to get some more of those rebirth ones so I can catch up on that.
I love the LCS discount.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That saves all the bacons.
Let me know if y'all are looking for anything. I'll go back up there again, see what they got. Maybe do a little hangout.
I'm actually looking for that Youngblood trade paperback. I want to read that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can talk to Chad and see if he has one available. I know the company usually gives him some of the stuff that comes out from like all the different variants and stuff too. That was pretty cool.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. A little autograph, little picture in there.
That's what we should do for a giveaway, actually. Literally, have Chad sign a Youngblood trade paper or number 1. Have him sign and sketch it. That'd be a giveaway from our page.
All right.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, he'd probably be down for that. Yeah, I talked to him a couple of days ago, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll think of something next month. He's got something coming out, and he'll announce it on the live stream." So he said that he's available on the weekends and maybe Thursday, but I'm not sure how late on Thursday though, because he's East Coast here. It's
Okay.
He's got 2 kids too.
And if it's like, better for you guys, don't worry about me. I mean, I know, Kyle, you've got a channel. So you can always run an event from your channel and just call it Syndi-Comics, just like I do for mine. And then if you want to have Chad in there with it, we just need to get Chad hooked up with Google Hangouts. And you might already have it.
Channel down here too, man. I've watched the past few of them with the top 10s, and they're pretty good, man.
Cool. I appreciate it.
No worries. Yeah, I've got another one I just put out yesterday. You guys see, I kind of vary it, 1 or 2 a week just to what's going on. But I got another haul coming in this week, tomorrow, and Saturday. So there'll be another video probably on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Well, guys, you guys take it easy. BJ, Kyle, have a good week. Have good reads. And
All right.
hit me up if you guys need anything, all right?
Cool. All right.
All
You guys
right.
have a good evening.
Have a good night. Everybody that's on the channel, thank you guys for coming by and sitting with us for a while. And if you like it, come on back. Keep on watching with us every week.
Yes,
All right.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
I guess.
Yeah.